I want to invite you to a brand new series here on Mirror Now called The Interview. The interview will be a series of conversations with those people who influence the way we live, those who run our governments, both local, state and central, those who decide what kind of quality of health, education, water, air and roads you and I get. This is our first interview. And today we're in conversation with Mr. H.D. Kumaraswamy, the new Chief Minister of the state of Karnataka. Mr. Kumaraswamy has just finished 2 months as Chief Minister, and it has been a 2 months packed with controversy. Mr. Kumaraswamy, thank you so much for joining us. You have been working very, very hard. From what your doctors are telling you, they're not happy with the kind of work or the kind of exertion you're putting out. But there are some glaring questions that we must ask at this point. And my first question to you is about the longevity of your government. Do you see your government as a coalition lasting for the full 5-year term?
You have any doubt regarding this? I have full confidence that we will going to give the stable government. We will going to complete 5 years term without any harm for the stability or any harm for the development of the Karnataka. In my opinion.
In your opinion. There have been members from within the coalition who have said you will not last more than 8 months. Some people have said that this is only until the next Lok Sabha elections, and then based on the result of the Lok Sabha elections, things might change. Do you disagree with that view?
Definitely I will disagree with that impression. What they are expressing, that this government will going to survive for 1 year or up to parliament election, this government will survive. Then it will going to actually vacate the office, all this kind of thing. That is a personal opinion. According to me, things will not like that. Even after parliament election, the scenario of parliament formation, it will going to strengthen my hand even after parliament, new parliament going to constitute.
Well, I will come to the coalition that we saw actually at your swearing-in ceremony, but I want to ask you about what is happening in your government right now. There was a lot of talk about that incident where you cried in public and you said that you are not happy with the coalition. Explain to us what you're not happy with.
I have already expressed in Delhi with some, while sharing my views with them, that I cried because I have some pain in my heart, inside the heart. What kind of pain that is? That pain is not concerned about my coalition everyday, day-to-day work. My worry and my pain is why people of Karnataka, some section, they have not accepted me as their chief minister. Why some certain section of media friends, that to electronic media, why they have not accepted my government? Why they are doubting about my government? The way in which they are projecting this government's day-to-day activities. Seeing all those issues, I have some pain in my mind, even in my heart. In that context, actually, yes, when I am addressing my family members, I am treat my party workers as my family members. That's why I am expressing that my family function. I cried. I am basically a human being. Not only human being, I am a sentiment person. I am very sensitive. While expressing my several problems, I wept. That's right. But Congress friends, I clearly clarify that they are not disturbing me.
They're not disturbing you.
They are totally supporting me. They are strengthening my hand in my day-to-day work. In that, there is no... Actually, I request the media friends not to show any differences is there in this coalition government. That situation is not there. That's why I'm requesting our some certain section of for media friends not to project like that.
So give us a clarification on this. And a lot of reports had said that there is difference of opinion between you and Mr. Siddaramaiah, the former Chief Minister of the state. And he is, of course, the chairperson of your coordination committee, which makes him a very important force. The two of you have always been on opposite sides. Onthara
I can understand.
So how are you working together now?
ತಾವು ಹೇಳಿದಾಗೆ ಈಗ ಕಳೆದ 5 ವರ್ಷ regularly we fought each other.
Yes. There's a history that dates back to your father.
Yes, that's right. ಅದರಿಂದ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಅವ್ರಿಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಅವರ ಒಂದು ವ್ಯೂಸ್, ಪೊಲಿಟಿಕಲ್ ವ್ಯೂಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಒಂದು ಕಡೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಡಿಫ್ರೆನ್ಸ್ಗಳಿರ್ಬೋದು. ಆ ಡಿಫ್ರೆನ್ಸನ್ನೇ ಒಂದು ದೊಡ್ಡದು ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕಾದ ಅವಶ್ಯಕತೆ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಈಸ್ ಅಡ್ವೈಸಿಂಗ್ ಮೀ ವೇರ್ ಎವರ್ ಆ್ಯಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಈಸ್ ಸಮ್ ಪೀಪಲ್ ಟೆಲಿಂಗ್ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಕ್ರಿಟಿಸೈಸಿಂಗ್ ಅವರ್ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್, ಬಟ್ ಈಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಕ್ರಿಟಿಸೈಸಿಂಗ್ ಅಕಾರ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಮೀ. ಅವ್ರು ನನಗೆ ಅಡ್ವೈಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ನನ್ನ ಅಭಿಪ್ರಾಯ.
Of the major decisions you have made in 2 months, increasing the fuel price, which he has objected, the bus pass problem, which you were doing a meeting today, he has objected to, the farm loan waivers he has objected to, the reduction of the 7 kg rice to 5 kg rice in the Annabhagya scheme he has objected to. He has objected to in letters to Delhi. All of the decisions you have made.
He is not addressed to Delhi, those letters. That letters were addressed to me, not to Delhi. They addressed to me. Then I will tell you regarding that petroleum product price rise. There is no alternate for me to strengthen my financial balance in the government. To waive farming communities loan. That is our promise. Now I have decided to waive more than 50,000 crores. No government in this country, they have not taken this huge amount of burden on their exchequers. I have taken it as a challenge. Whatever I promised before the people when I went to polls, whatever I promised, that I keeping by announcing this farming loan up to 50,000 crores. For that I have to organize my internal financial strength. ಆ ದೃಷ್ಟಿಯಿಂದ ಹೌದು ಪೆಟ್ರೋಲಿಯಂ ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ ಬೆಲೆಗಳ ರೈಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೇನೆ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಒಂದು ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಹಾಕಿದ್ದೇನೆ. ಆಫ್ಟರ್ GST ಇಂಟ್ರಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಇನ್ ದಿಸ್ ಕಂಟ್ರಿ, ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಕಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಲಿಮಿಟೇಷನ್ ಇದೆ.
Karnataka's tax has come down for the first time. Karnataka's tax income has come down for the first time since GST.
No. GST, yes, collection has come down. Collection has come down. I have to make some alternate arrangement. ನನಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲೂ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಸ್ಕೋಪ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಕಲೆಕ್ಷನ್ನಿಗೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಏನು ಪೆಟ್ರೋಲಿಯಂ ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ ರೈಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೇನೆ, ಡೀಸೆಲ್ಲು ಪೆಟ್ರೋಲ್ನ ಬೆಲೆನ, ದಟ್ ರೈಸ್ ನನ್ನ ಒಂದು ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್ ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ, ದೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ ಎಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಡೆಲ್ಲಿ, ಇನ್ ಆಲ್ ಅದರ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಕಂಪೇರ್ಡ್ ಟು ಮೈ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ವಾಟ್ ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ರೈಸ್ಡ್ ನೌ ಟು ಪುಟ್ ಸಮ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್, ಈವನ್ after putting this tax into the rate of petroleum products compared to all other states, we are less. ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇದ್ದೇವೆ ನಾವು.
ಅಷ್ಟು ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್. ಯು ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್ ದಟ್ ಮಚ್ ಲೋವರ್ ದನ್ ಸಮ್ ಅದರ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಸ್.
ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಗಿವ್ ಯು. ಮಧ್ಯಪ್ರದೇಶ್ 1 ಲೀಟರ್ ಬೆಲೆ ಪೆಟ್ರೋಲ್ದು 83 rupees. ಇನ್ ಮೈ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಈವನ್ ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ಮೈ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ 77 or 78 rupees.
No, but I want to ask you this.
One example I am giving you.
Yes, 48,000 crore rupees, the release that has come from your office today, is what the whole loan waiver is going to cost us. Now, will this increase in petrol price hike cover the entire 48,000 crore?
No. Even in this petroleum tax rise, I am getting only 900 to 1,000 crores. That's all.
So, remaining 47,000 crore rupees is going to go from
actually, whatever proper measurement I have to take to strengthen my state exchequer, and to maintain my financial discipline. ನಾನು ಅದು ಎಲ್ಲವನ್ನ ಲೆಕ್ಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡೇ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೇನೆ.
In your election manifesto and in your election plans, because I remember asking this of members of your party, where will the money come for a farm loan waiver? They said, we will make savings in each ministry. Every ministry is overspending by 400 crore rupees. We will save 400 crore rupees per ministry and we will arrive at this amount.
That is not a real fact. ಇವತ್ತು ಈ ವರ್ಷಕ್ಕೆ we have allocated 10,500 crores to assist for the loan waivers. 10,500 ಕೋಟಿ ಹಣವನ್ನು ಈ ಅಲೋಕೇಶನ್ ಏನಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೇನೆ. ಈಗ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ 1,500 ಕೋಟಿ ಮೊನ್ನೆ ಬಿಡುಗಡೆ ಆಗಿದೆ. 1,500 crores we have released. Already my officers, they are in touch with our bankers, all nationalized banks and even RRBs. They also come to an understanding. Whatever we suggested, we requested. For that, they agreed. The process is going on. There is no problem for us. Actually, we have taken the permission from these banks to repay this amount in 4 installments. For that, bankers are agreed. There is no huge burden in a single year. We split it into 4 years.
There's no still clear plan of where the money is going to come from, though.
Pardon?
You have still not made a full plan for the entire 48,000 crores.
Actually, we have already planned.
You
we
said
have already planned.
You are meeting all of your election promises, but you did not tell the people of Karnataka before election that you will increase petrol prices. Petrol price is already very, very high in the country.
No. Compared to all other states in this country, we are in the lesser position.
But the larger in the coalition of Congress and all of its allies is criticizing the BJP about petrol prices right now.
No, yeah, that is a different issue. That is not main issue. Congress, they are criticizing in the national level. Why they are criticizing? Even after international market petroleum prices rate comes down, dollars rate, each barrel. Even after that, central government not reduced the rate of petroleum products. Because of that context, Congress, they are opposing BJP's attitude about the price.
You believe it has no bearing on your decision here in Karnataka?
No, Karnataka, people are accepted. That is one section of society, one section of media friends. They are actually projecting, I have done a big wrong thing. That is not right.
I want to ask you a question that I know is closer to your heart. Now, Vibru Raitra Maklu. Since you have announced this farm loan waiver, 30 farmers have committed suicide in the state of Karnataka after the announcement.
Still, I am requesting them. Yes, that's right. Actually, I know. I know. ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಲೋನ್ ಏನಿದೆ ಅದನ್ನು ಮನ್ನಾ ಮಾಡಿದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ರೈತ ಫೈನಾನ್ಷಿಯಲಿ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿಕಮ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಂಗ್. ದಟ್ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಇಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ವಿತ್ ಮೀ. ಐ ನೋ ದಟ್. This is not the remedy, final remedy.
Yes.
Farmers' waiver of loan is not the remedy. I know that.
So
we have to change the system.
What is the remedy?
We have to change the agriculture system. What we are, our farmers now cultivating, that we have to change it. For that, actually, we have a big plan for future days.
Can you give us some insight into this plan? Because I'm sure that people in other states will find it useful.
Actually, we are planning to introduce Israel farming system, one side. Another side, zero budget natural farming, which was succeeded in Andhra Pradesh. What they have introduced in 2016. Now more than 6 lakh farming community members involved in that zero budget natural farming system. That system we are introducing. For that, actually, in this budget, we allocated 50 crores to guide the farming community how to change their system, present system. For that, actually, we are encouraging. We started the process now.
I want to also ask you about the Lok Sabha elections. We said we'll come back to it. This was a big show of strength at your own swearing-in ceremony. The entire country was watching. My first question to you is, do you believe that Mr. Rahul Gandhi is your prime ministerial candidate? Do you agree with that
Yes,
choice?
our party already expressed our stand in the public. We have accepted.
That is
For that.
politics, Mr. Kumarswamy. Do you believe he's the best man for the job? Is he
No,
qualified
at present,
among all coalition
in
options?
opposition political parties, they are the bigger number. ಇವತ್ತು ನಾನು when I taking the oath for that ceremony, several leaders they attended that program.
ಹೌದು.
Even my request now as a small man, all the leaders they must unite. I request them. If they unitedly fight against this present system, people may accept them. For that, they have to work it out.
You believe there's a lack of unity in that coalition right now?
No, actually, now nobody actually they're actually expecting that they will going to unitedly fight against the present system, according to me. But ನನ್ನ ಒಂದು ಸಿನ್ಸಿಯರ್ ಒಪಿನಿಯನ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಸಿನ್ಸಿಯರ್ ರಿಕ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್, ಎಲ್ಲ ವಿರೋಧ ಪಕ್ಷಗಳು ಒಂದಾಗಬೇಕು. ಆಲ್ ರೀಜನಲ್ ಪಾರ್ಟೀಸ್ ದೇ ಮಸ್ಟ್ ಟೇಕ್ ಎ ಡಿಸಿಷನ್ ಟು ಕಮ್ ಇನ್ ಒನ್ ಫೋಲ್ಡ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಫೈಟ್ ಅಗೇನ್ಸ್ಟ್ ದಿಸ್ ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್.
Do you believe the present system should be fought against? Is there something wrong with the present system that you disagree with personally?
ಬೇಕಿದೆ. ಇವತ್ತಿನ ಒಂದು ವ್ಯವಸ್ಥೆನಲ್ಲಿ ದೇಶದ ಭವಿಷ್ಯ ದೃಷ್ಟಿಯಿಂದ ಟು ಸೇವ್ ದ ಕಂಟ್ರಿ, all these groups has to come together by swallowing their personal whatever ಆಸೆ ಆಕಾಂಕ್ಷೆಗಳು ಇದ್ರೂ ಒಂದಾಗಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋದು ನನ್ನ ಅಭಿಪ್ರಾಯ.
I will come back to the question I asked you. You said the Congress has the most numbers. Even within the Congress, given the personality and the caliber for the job, do you believe Mr. Rahul Gandhi is the best option?
Now he is the Congress president. He is taking the lead. There is no alternate in Congress. All Congress leaders depending on Rahul ji only. On that context only I am telling he is the suitable person at this juncture.
There has been a lot of talk, including Mr. Arun Jaitley wrote a column about the fact that the Congress is calling the shots in your government, that you are not being allowed a free hand to actually work. And that is the reason why the larger coalition will not ever work, because here is an example. I
already clarified.
Yes. What's your response to that?
Whatever
Yes.
Arun Jaitley's tweet, that is not correct. Congress, they are fully supporting me. ಅವ್ರು ನಮಗೆ ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಕೊಡ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ಕೆಲವರೇನು ಚರ್ಚೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ದೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ನೋ ಟ್ರೂತ್ ಇನ್ ದಟ್. ಕಾಂಗ್ರೆಸ್ ಸಾಲಿಡ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಬಿಹೈಂಡ್ ಮೀ, ದೇ ಆರ್ ಸಪೋರ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಮೀ. I have full blessings of Madam and Rahul ji.
There's also been some speculation about sharing of Lok Sabha seats between your party and the Congress party. How many seats are you looking for? And is it true that you're not able to agree?
Till now, there is no discussion about the seat sharing. But at the appropriate time, we will going to discuss this issue and smoothly we will going to solve this seat sharing.
I want to focus a little closer to home, and that is the city of Bangalore that needs desperate attention right now from the current government. Again, a lot of people have said that because you are a old Mysore party, that your base is not in Bangalore, you will not be able to understand Bangalore and its needs.
Who told that?
There are some reports. What's your answer to these people?
Who is the person behind the metro project? Who is the person behind? I am the person who took the decision without wasting my time in 12 years back when I was Chief Minister to put a foundation stone for first 19 kilometers of metro project. I am the brainchild in that. I took the decision. Whatever I took the decision in 2006 as a chief minister, that was the major decision for the development of Bangalore city I took at that time. ಬ್ಯಾಂಗ್ಳೂರಿಗೆ ನನಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ವಿಷನ್ನು ಮತ್ತೊಂದು ಪಾರ್ಟಿಗಿಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನು ಐ ವಾಂಟೆಡ್ ಟು ಕ್ಲಾರಿಫೈ.
Would you be able to explain your vision to us now going forward? ಮುಂದಿನ ವಿಷನ್ ಏನಿದೆ?
No, just one project I expressed. ನಾನೇನು ಅವತ್ತು ತೀರ್ಮಾನ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೆ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಿನ ಟ್ರಾಫಿಕ್ನ ಈಸ್ ಔಟ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ. In this budget I announced about elevated corridor of covering 95 kilometers road. What we are facing problem. For that we already completed the DPR. We required more than 23,000 crores for that project. I am initiating for that to ease out this present headache of this traffic system. I took the decision. Even outer peripheral ring road. For that also I am giving new life.
So if we talk about the agrarian crisis or the farmer crisis, we've seen protests now for nearly 2 years across the country. This is not a specific group of farmers. This is not a specific political group, politically motivated group of farmers. How bad do you think the truth is on the ground? And will it hurt in the next election?
Let me begin by saying that in the last 4 years, the government increased minimum support prices for various products, including rice and wheat, only marginally. Only in the last year, which is the election year, have they abided by that promise that was made in the manifesto of the BJP,
Yes.
that we will raise it, accepting the recommendations of the Swaminathan Commission, raise it to 150% of cost. Now, which cost? I am not going into that. I have already said that the increase has been eroded by input cost rise in the recent months. But the basic cause of agrarian distress is that international prices have been depressed, as a result of which domestic prices have been depressed, and they are in the mandis, they are far lower than the MSP prescribed by the government. Now, MSP is there, some farmers in some parts of the country take advantage of it, but most farmers in most parts of the country are not in a position to take advantage of MSP. So they go to the mandi, they have to sell their product. The farmer he is not rich, so he doesn't have staying power. Storage is poor, so he doesn't have staying power. So what happens?
And he can only afford that much diesel to get it there.
Yeah, and what happens therefore is that for the last 3-4 years, he has been getting distress prices in the mandis. The government does not buy. When I went to Akola, for instance, in Maharashtra, part of Vidarbha, and I joined the farmers movement there, what were they complaining against? They were complaining that if we produce, let's say, 3 quintals in a certain piece of land, the procurement agencies will say, we'll buy only 1 quintal from you. Go and sell your 2 quintals in the market. They go to the mandi, they sell it at, as I said, distress prices. So they have been put in a very untenable position as a result of the overall decline in agricultural produce prices throughout the country. And input costs in the meanwhile have been going up. So it has a huge imbalance. And we were talking about assessment of demonetization.
Yes.
Demonetization has hit the farmer very badly, and there is no assessment today. I mean, again, anecdotal. What did the farmer tell me in Narsinghpur in Madhya Pradesh, or what did he tell me in Akola or in Western UP, are all anecdotal. But there is no assessment. But farming and the farmers have suffered hugely as a result of demonetization also.
One of our senior reporters travelled to Marathwad we wanted to investigate the call for reservation and the agitation for reservations that are happening across the country. We discovered a lot of it also has to do with farmer distress and children of farmers who aren't finding jobs. Does it have to do actually with just economics? Is it farming and the lack of jobs rather than the need for reservation?
No, the need for reservation arises when in society in general there is, there are not enough jobs going. If there are enough jobs going, you will find a job, I'll find a job, so I'll not be bothered about reservation. But if there is only one job going and I can get it on the basis of reservation, then I'll find some argument to say that I should have reservation and I must have that job. Unfortunately, as Gadkari said himself, where are the jobs? So go for reservation, but there are no jobs. That's another matter. But farmers' distress is a major reason. The other is that we have, unfortunately, over a long period of time, allowed or not tackled a very basic structural problem of Indian economy. And what is that basic structural problem? The basic structural problem is that the contribution of agriculture to GDP has been declining. It's now 15% or so, and 50% of our population is dependent on agriculture. So you have 50% of the people depending on something which is contributing only 15%.
But that's technically not something this government could have fixed.
It's
been building over many years.
I'm saying that every government, including future governments, must look at this problem and try and tackle it in such a way that people shift from agriculture to other jobs. I mean, you must be aware of the fact, recent studies have shown that farmers, when you calculate farmers' income, only about 55% comes from farming, 45% comes from other sources.
Yes. So, which brings us to the conversation about jobs. Again, only anecdotal evidence available to us. The government has used a report on EPFO saying because the number of PF accounts have increased, it shows that a large number of jobs have been created. Up to 70 lakh jobs were created in the country. This is something you've personally refuted as well. Do you believe again that we require as a country, the Labour Ministry has said this, we require an unemployment number, which we don't have, and because we don't have it, we don't have a clear idea of the jobs situation in our country.
No, government
is the lack of data deliberate?
Government spokespersons, including the Prime Minister, are fond of saying that it's not lack of jobs, it's lack of job data. And then you remember that famous speech the Prime Minister made in reply to the debate on no confidence motion, in which he trotted out various figures.
Yes.
The point is, EPFO data, and I agree with all the experts who say this, that EPFO data is not job data. And it will be a major error to say that EPFO data shows employment growth. For the very simple reason, I give an example which those who are watching this will understand, that EPFO requires that any establishment which reaches a figure of 20 employees must register with EPFO.
Yes.
So suppose I have 18 employees, I have not registered with EPFO. I recruit 2 more and I come within the mischief of that rule. So then I will go to the EPFO and register my unit. Now if you were to take that as 20 new jobs, then aren't you making a mistake? And in effect it's only 2 new jobs.
The Mudra loan argument, that we've given out so many Mudra loans, so people are starting their own businesses, so they're becoming employers and not employees.
I have been in this business a long time, first as a civil servant and then in public life. There has always been a scheme like the Mudra loan. It was called the Prime Minister's Rozgar Yojana, then it became Prime Minister's Swarozgar Yojana. There is a entrepreneurship development cell in the district industries office of every state, and the basic job of that cell is to ensure that people turn into entrepreneurs, and after a little training They will be linked to a bank so that the bank will give them a loan and
Yes.
they will start their own business. Okay? So this mudra is not something which has happened for the first time. Though the government is fond of saying that history started only in May 2014, but mudra in some form or the other, some name or the other, has been there for a long, long time. And again, you read the reports, earlier reports, so you will find that everyone does not set up an industry or any commercial establishment when they get the loan. The average mudra loan is 50,000 rupees. Which business can you start in 50,000 rupees? How many people will you employ in that business?
But Mr. Sinha, the government would also argue that the global community, the IMF, the World Bank, where if you go, for example, to the World Economic Forum in Davos, the way India is looked at, treated, respected has changed and improved over the last 4 years. And we have changed drastically.
Absolutely wrong.
The amount
Absolutely. I will contest it with all my might.
Why?
For the simple reason that when Vajpayee was Prime Minister, we were widely respected in the world. I, as Finance Minister, was asked to address the plenary of Davos in one of the years. And India was always well regarded. We were on global high tables. So what are we talking about? I mean, let me tell you that in their zeal to say that history started only in 2014, they are even negating the achievements of the Vajpayee government, which was led by the BJP. And I have been Finance Minister. I was chairman of the World Bank's Development Committee, first Indian to head the Development Committee of the World Bank. We were in high, all the high tables of the world. Vajpayee used to go and sit there with Putin and Clinton and all the rest of them. What are we talking about? That for the first time this happened? Maybe for the first time Prime Minister has gone to a country like Timbuktu, I don't know. But to say that India was nowhere and first time India is respected globally is absolutely wrong. India was always respected, and I have personally experienced it in Vajpayee government when I was Finance Minister and then External Affairs Minister.
You said in your article that you wrote last year that this is how a lot of other members of the BJP feel, but they refuse to speak up for fear. Is that fear still present, and do you think that that is an undemocratic way of running government?
Yes, yes. That fear has only deepened further, multiplied many times over. And what you mentioned about BJP MPs in the Murli Manohar Joshi committee shows that we will not accept dissent even from our own. And if somebody dares to do it, then he will be shut up in some way or the other. So, therefore, that fear continues. Let me give you an example. If the Home Minister does not know that governor's rule is going to be imposed in Jammu and Kashmir, if the Finance Minister does not know that demonetization is round the corner, if the Defense Minister does not know that Prime Minister is going to go for the Rafale deal in Paris, and the External Affairs Minister does not accompany the Prime Minister on his foreign visits. I was telling somewhere that as External Affairs Minister, there was not a single occasion where Vajpayee would be travelling abroad and would not ask me to accompany him. And perhaps there has not been a single occasion in this government where the Prime Minister would have asked the External Affairs Minister to accompany him. What does all this show?
You received a lot of criticism personally as well from the government when you first spoke out. Did you attempt to have this conversation perhaps in private before you came out in public with your criticism of the government?
I asked for time from the Prime Minister.
Okay.
He was pleased not to grant me an interview. I wrote letters to him which went unacknowledged. So the only thing I didn't do was go with a begging bowl and stand in front of 7 Rescourse Road and say, please grant me an interview. I also have some self-respect.
The finance minister, Mr. Arun Jaitley, questioned you personally. He said you want the job, and you have, and which is why you're being critical of the government. What was your response to that?
My response is well known. My response is that my life is an open book. How many people in this government have left an IAS job 12 years before their retirement? And how many people in the whole political firmament of this country have left the job like IAS 12 years before one was due to retire, and it was not under any compulsion. I was having it as good as anybody else in my career in the IAS. I have always given up. People have forgotten that VP Singh, when he became Prime Minister, wanted to make me a Minister of State, and not an ordinary Minister of State, a Minister of State in the Ministry of Home Affairs, and I did not agree. I have always given up on jobs, never asked for one. And the finance minister went out of his way to attack me personally because they wanted the whole discussion to be reduced to a personal slugfest. I refused to get involved in that. I refused to get involved even in this other thing which you have not mentioned, that it's a father-son dispute. I refused. And now the truth is out there.
Here's my question to you. It is the opposition's job to raise these questions, whether in Parliament or otherwise. They attempted with the no confidence motion, which then became some sort of theatrics about a hug in Parliament, which is not what it should have been about. A lot of the questions went unanswered. Has the opposition failed the country? Have they failed to do their job?
Yes, I'm saying it very firmly that in the last over 4 years, the opposition has not done its job well. For whatever reason, the Congress party stands, which is the main opposition, stands emasculated in the Lok Sabha. They don't have the numbers even to be an effective opposition.
Do they have the leadership in Mr. Rahul Gandhi?
It's now, but there are aspects where he'll have to be to establish his leadership. That is also a point. The left parties have been very badly mauled in the last election, so their presence is also negligible. So there are many issues. In fact, I tweeted one day about petroleum product prices going up every day. I said, what is the opposition doing?
Yes.
So they organized a Bharat Bandh. I'm not saying they did it because I tweeted, but they organized a Bharat Bandh, then all quiet on the Western Front.
Wasn't very successful Bharat Bandh either.
Whatever, I mean, everybody contributed according to his or her capacity. But the point is, with all the things that are happening, there is so much more the opposition would have done.
Let's talk politics for a second, Mr. Sinha. Going into the elections next year, the BJP does seem like the strongest contender. Like you said, the opposition has not done much. They haven't cemented any sort of, they haven't taken advantage of any of the feelings of unhappiness that may exist on the ground. Do you see the NDA or the BJP coming back with the same strength?
Let me take you back a little in history. An old timer like me is bound to do that. In 1977, there was a great deal of anger in this country against the emergency and the way government was conducting its business.
Yes.
There was no awareness of this in government. In fact, even the intelligence agencies went to Mrs. Gandhi and told her, Indira Gandhi, that you will come back with 350 seats. And then she went for elections, and we know what happened.
The city of Chennai is suffering from lack of local governance. There hasn't been an election for the local government of Chennai. It's been delayed for a really long time, and nobody's even asking for it anymore. Would your party consider, why wouldn't your party consider pushing for the elections and running for the elections? Because it's the closest.
We were the party who reminded of a facility and the right that we had about the Gram Sabhas. It's a quarter-century old idea, and it's not put to practice. And we actually the informed people have been trying to reach out to people to arm the people with that right they have. And we thought our profile would be useful for these kind of soldiers on the street who are trying to do good for the people. And we got together and did this mock Gram Sabhas, and they were popular. And suddenly it's happening now. Every season, the four times that we are supposed to congregate is happening regularly now. And we are doing our best, and we will push for those things. As a matter of fact, the opposition walked out of the assembly. So, and they were legislating new things, and it was an empty assembly with no
with the voices,
no other voices, no wall to bounce at all. But we were asking questions from outside on pertinent matters. That itself becomes our primer to our policies. We are doing that.
Even within the state and the city of Chennai, corruption, from what we understand, is at perhaps an all-time high. There is
Phenomenal.
a power vacuum at this point, because it is also a state that has always leaned on one hero/leader, which, to be honest, the state doesn't have. So what would, let's assume, hypothetically speaking, you were in charge tomorrow, how would you solve the corruption problem?
The thing is, the word vandalism comes from the Vandals who entered Rome. They never wanted to settle in Rome. That's not their place. So they just took what they can, destroyed what they can, took the loot and walked out back to where they believed was their living
home.
space.
Yes.
That's exactly what we got. We got vandals there. People who are responsible and they want to live there and want to make the state better will find ways. We are those people.
No, but what are those ways? Because the corruption is not limited to politicians. It's also in the bureaucracy.
Yes.
How would you, I mean, look at the illegal construction right now in Chennai.
Let's start with the Lok Ayukta bill, which is for real, not a sham.
So you would amend the current form of Lok Ayukta?
A form in its original true spirit. I don't know how legally we're going to do it, because they'll say it is legislative, you can't tamper with it. But we'll have to come up with another idea which is similar to that, or even work with the legal system and see to it that it gets back the very spirit of it. And everybody, including whoever takes up office, will sit under the sword of Damocles. And that is the only way to begin the process.
Well, you keep saying we when you refer to the party, and in order to run a
would I suffice? I would say I. But
in order to compete or contest a state election, you have to have candidates in every constituency. Do you have a plan? Do you have people who believe in what you believe, who are willing to contest it? It's an expensive prospect as well. Where will the money come from?
It will come from the people. It will come from the people who are willing to invest in Tamil Nadu. I have invested. This party does not come from, I didn't pull it out of thin air. There's no magic in it. I have invested into the party. My money is there into the party. My house is the party headquarters. My father's house, which I bought and partly inherited, is now the party office. And I have some people are investing. Some people want to come in and change Tamil Nadu, and these are emotional people. And there are a lot of young people, engineers, doctors, police officers, retired police officers, ex-servicemen. They're all joining, lawyers. And
how many do you have so far? Possible candidates?
We have first lined our, what do you call, the armature. That is the system, the structure is ready. But we are not going to be discussing it publicly. We announced we dissolved the committee, which was the high-level committee, which was formed to create all these things. And now that they've become the executive committee. We'll have about executive committee exceeding 35, 40 maybe, depending on And then we have verticals. We are deciding those verticals on each Turai, as we call it. Each
and is the fan base going to be turned into a cadre base?
Yeah, they are already, they are partly trained social workers.
Okay.
They've been working with me for 37 years. That's a long time. They're used to taking not orders, but directions from me.
So, okay, so then is the NCP very clear about having the Congress as a partner in 2019?
Oh, absolutely. I don't think there's any doubt in our minds ever, for that matter. And as a matter of fact, we've always initiated with a very positive approach towards the Congress party, always. And we've had a wonderful relationship in Delhi during UPA 1, during UPA 2. So I don't think there has been any working problem.
But you fought the Gujarat election separately, and that did cause an advantage to the BJP because votes were split between the two parties of NCP and Congress.
I don't think that's fair, because sometimes discussions go. So the way the ownership is on us, it was on the Congress also. So I can't be, everything that's wronged can't be because of NCP, and everything that BJP and Congress say is right. I think that's injustice to us, no?
No, I just want to understand. So is this, like you said, you've had a wonderful relationship, but during that wonderful relationship, according to you, there was the Gujarat elections where you did fight separately.
No, not at all. The wonderful relationship was UPA 1 and 2. Okay. After that, 15 years we worked together exceptionally well in Maharashtra. The issue came only during that time when we couldn't have an agreement on seat sharing in 2014. Or even in Gujarat, there were a few seats we were asking for and it got derailed. But the ownership in a partnership, be it a friendship, be it a marriage, any relationship, it's two people who are involved. So both have to walk an extra mile to make that relationship.
Your official stand on demonetization as well?
I don't have an official there's nothing like that. We have a stand that it has clearly hurt the economy. When they first started, the goalpost was eradication of black money. Now they've changed the goalpost and now they're saying they wanted more people in the system. Truly, we have seen, data has showed that demonetization has been one of the worst decisions for the economy. It's been condemned globally, and it sort of really reminds me of what Dr. Manmohan Singh ji said, that impulsively we all thought it was a good thing, maybe, but I still remember the second or the third day had clearly said that this is one of the worst decisions for the economy, and it is proved that demonetization has completely failed the poor person and the common voter who loved this government and thought they were really going to bring in a change.
But the BJP has constantly argued that repeated wins of elections post-demonetization proves that the people have accepted that decision. What is your response?
You see, winning an election doesn't mean anything. I want to ask you a question. Thanks to BJP, which has won so many elections, tell me one big change that with so much power they have made to everybody's lives. One big change. I'm not asking for 5. One big change that I say, yes, this government has made. Has poverty gone down? No. Have women issues gone down? No. Has Mengai gone down? No. See, they're juggling with data. Doesn't mean I don't know what bills I pay. Everybody does. So it's not in isolation that I'm saying that one Mengai, ab ki baar, what happened? Bahut ho gayi Mengai ki maar. Ab ki baar Modi Sarkar. Has the Mengai gone down? Ask anybody, rich or poor. It's not impacted. Have they started? I mean, they talked about skilling India. What big impact by skilling have they achieved? Look at the Mudra scheme. It has completely failed in Maharashtra. Huge corruption charges in Marathwada, in Aurangabad itself, because of the Mudra scheme. Stand Up India, Startup India, Digital India, Make in India. What happened to all these schemes? I mean, nobody's talking about them anymore. Adarsha Gram Yojana. What happened to that scheme? I'll give you hundreds of schemes like that, where they have said that, you know, it's big, but I mean, nobody is even talking about them. They keep changing the goalpost every time. So they clutter you with so much information at one time that you've forgotten where you started. So what has been the accountability and the transparency of all these several schemes of government? So, you know, sometimes, as I told you earlier, jumle pe jumla, there is really nothing that happens. There's always huge events, and every event they're spending in crores, either on full page ads or on hoardings and stuff like that. So there's really, this is all the fluff. This is like a peacock. It looks lovely. You're spending but 5 crores and 10 crores on just on events. So it's really disappointing for me that this government is doing this.
If your government was in power in Maharashtra today, would you be building a statue?
We would definitely build a statue. Shivaji is of great pride to us. But I would manage the money better than this government has. I will first stop the spending on all extra ads. I will, every petrol station has a banner. Let's rent. I mean, I would restructure my loan. I would restructure everything first. So I personally feel that what we need to do is this government needs to come clean on how they're going to spend money on what.
The government would tell us, and supporters of the government would tell us, that the Jaluyukta Shivar project and the metro project in Mumbai are projects that have actually moved at great speed and have done very well. Would you agree with that?
Not at all. That's a joke, whoever's told you that. Because Jaluyukta Shivar, they have not given money for 2 years. I mean, the credit goes to Amir Khan and Pani Foundation, not to this government. Because Pani Foundation and Amir Khan really took it to another level. They put in the resources, and please remember one thing, in Jaluyukta Shivar, people have got into that movement. Amir Khan made the appeal, Pani Foundation supported, and people of Maharashtra have worked. Government has not done anything. And in the last 2 years, they have not even funded the program. You can verify all the data that I'm taking.
And the Mumbai Metro?
Mumbai Metro is working. It's creating a lot of inconvenience to people. I'll be happy if it's done on time, but I hope in a rush to make it, they are making sure they're taking all the safety measures. That's my concern. Sometimes you try to run too fast and you're not taking safety precautions. And if they're running the metro, I would even urge them to look into all the Mumbai railway services. We don't have toilets, the suburbans are really not clean. They don't come on time, we need many more trains. That's really the backbone of Mumbai, is the trains and the locals. So they should even look at upgrading that, not just look at isolated projects.
But the other question I must ask you is about the Me Too movement. We did talk about ICCs in political parties. Parliament had its share as well, with MJ Akbar being accused. There was disappointment at that time, I'll be honest, about the fact that women parliamentarians were not as vocal about MJ Akbar and the accusations he was facing as much as the rest of the country would have liked to see women parliamentarians take a stand. Why do you think that is?
I don't think so. I think, most of the women parliamentarians have made comments. I've seen it on Twitter and Facebook. They may not have been jumping on channels, or maybe no channel asked them. That also is a possibility. But I don't think in the Me Too movement, there's not about a parliamentarian. Please remember one thing, it's not only the female, even the male parliamentarians sometimes surprise us, and we feel very happy when they speak about such issues, and they have very strong views. Because when it's a women's issue...
But MJ Akbar is still a member of parliament. He's been removed from the ministry.
Yeah.
He's resigned from the ministry, but he's still a member of Rajya Sabha.
So
do we want a man like that in Rajya Sabha?
That his party should take the decision, no? Beti bachao, beti padhao, then stick to it. And what's disappointing is the Honorable Prime Minister did not even make a statement about it. An official statement with a Twitter handle with such big following, we would have given a great signal to this country.
You did, and you have announced that your father will no longer be contesting elections.
I have not announced.
He has. But is he retiring from active politics?
That
is he going to continue to be a member of the party, or is he sort of Margdarshan committee at this point?
Yeah, he's somebody who works 24/7 for the last 60 years. So I don't think he would ever like to be out of a job in that sense of the work. And he recreates work for himself all the time. He rediscovers himself all the time with a lot of things. He's always rediscovered himself. So he'll always find something to do.
And you've also said clearly that you're the only member of the family who will be contesting in 2019.
For Lok Sabha, yes. And my brother Ajit will contest for Vidhan Sabha. We've done it in the past.
Okay. And the talks of the Mahagathbandhan, you did say now that you're firmly clear about the fact that the Congress is your partner. But I want to understand from you as a sort of experienced parliamentarian, do you believe that Rahul Gandhi is the clearest leader for that Gathbandhan?
Well, time will tell. And I think even the Congress party has made it very clear about the Mahagathbandhan. So I think what we really need to do is we need to get a stable and a good government, which is a progressive government, which will take India to the next level. Who leads it, how leads it, let's leave it to time.
But actually, I'm really glad you said that, because if we look at the collection of people in this Mahagathbandhan, and I suppose the last time we saw all of them together was the swearing in of the current Karnataka Chief Minister. What joins these people together, other than the fact that it's not the BJP? Well, in terms of ideology and what you believe and what you'll achieve, what is the single thought among these people?
I think development. I think each one wants to come together to make sure India is a vibrant democracy where all these institutions work independently, which we have both shown concern about, and to take India to the next level where India deserves it. There's this whole Indian population which is an aspirational India, which deserves better governance, which deserves the best, if you ask me.
Okay.
So I think why can't we have, and you see UPA 1 and 2, there have been fabulous programs.
But those false allegations did cost the party in the 2014 elections. Do you think that image has been changed?
You see, the image, of course we have to work harder for it. You have to see, before we point fingers at anybody, you have to introspect into ourselves first. Obviously we did lose an election, so it's no point saying all is well. Obviously all is not well, otherwise why would we lose? So we had 3 terms, a lot was going wrong towards the end, which earlier we talked about. So I think we really need to introspect, rebuild the party in a way of getting, and people who have left us and gone to other parties are not angels. So they have also had corruption charges, but what happens in the BJP is when they are with us, they are corrupt. When they go into the BJP, they become wonderful human beings. So they have some sort of a detergent which sort of washes away all the sins or so-called corruption, which if they stay with us are corrupt, but if they go to them, they are not corrupt.
Is Chhagan Bhujbal still a big part of the party?
Of course.
He's out on bail on very serious charges. He spent time in jail. You don't believe that will hurt the image of the party?
You know, I think everybody, it's very easy to make an allegation against anybody. Let's wait for it to be proved. And everybody's innocent till they're proved guilty.
Wouldn't it be easier to ask him to step aside until he is proven innocent?
But he's out on bail. Government has, the courts have let him be. So how can you make an allegation? Life is not about only perception, it's about reality. So let's wait for reality, whatever it is. Let's believe in the court of law. And
so all of these people then, so Chhagan Bhujbal, Ramesh Kadam, who has been in jail, he's been accused of misappropriating 132 crore rupees. Your brother Ajit Pawar, as far as the irrigation scam is concerned, Sunil Tatkare, the Minister of Water Resources, who's also facing charges, will all remain active members of your party.
I repeat my answer again, and I ask you, 4.5 years, they've had every power. What has happened to all this? These allegations were made by them.
You will be entering the Madhya Pradesh elections as well, which the NCP is contesting with the Congress. What do you believe your chances are at this point?
Well, you always sit for an exam to pass with good marks. So let's go that we will win.